verbal or life. Um,
January 1st, 2025. My first stream after the new year. Happy New Year. Hope you're doing good. In this video, we're going to take a look at Elon Musk making predictions because the start of the year is always good to listen to the geniuses or listen to the technology geniuses make their predictions because, hey, it's a good time to make predictions. But welcome to Verbal Online. My name is Noel. I'm going to try to do a stream every day and bring you guys more and more videos. And hopefully you enjoy the video. And if you enjoyed this particular video, make sure to give it a thumbs up before you go anywhere. All right. We're going to keep it moving, make it happen. This year, the goal is for me is to do a video every day. But before I talk more about it, let's take a look at Elon Musk's prediction as to what's going to happen in technology. Everybody loves technology. All right, let's take a look.
But since I was immersed in technology, I have been immersed in technology for a long time, I could see it coming. And I do think overall that the potential is there for artificial intelligence, AI.
He said he could see it coming, but a lot of people said that there were going to be no robots because the batteries were too big and no real robot can carry its own weight. Now that they made the battery small, now it's a little bit more clear.
To have most likely a positive effect, to create a future of abundance where there is no scarcity of goods and services. But it is somewhat of the magic genie problem, where if you have a magic genie that can grant all the wishes, usually those stories don't end well.
Now, a future of abundance where we're going to get everything from the robots and from AI, it just sounds like far away, right? We're in 2025. We're talking something that may happen in 2035, right? So people can't really sit back and wait for it to happen. There's a lot of things to be done now before we even get to that level. But
Be careful
in my opinion, of course.
what you wish for, including wishes. Really, anything that can be actuated by a computer is effectively a robot. So you can think of, frankly, Tesla cars are robots on wheels. Anything that's connected to the internet is effectively an endpoint actuator for artificial intelligence. I do think there is a safety concern, especially with humanoid robots, because at least the car can't chase you into this building, not very easily, or chase you up a tree, or you can.
I mean, there will be hackers. They're going to try all these things to attack other people, just like in the movies. So I can see the government hackers or the positive one fighting off against those people. And let's see what regulations they're going to build in so it doesn't happen.
Sort of run up a flight of stairs and get away from a Tesla. But if you have a humanoid robot, it can basically chase you anywhere. So I think we should have some kind of hardwired local cutoff that you can't update from the internet.
I mean, just like there's good people out there, it's a lot of good people out there. There's going to be one or two that are just going to be direct evil, going to try their best to hack into these systems. So it's expected to come. So there's going to be a lot of regulation. Hopefully that'll stop it and won't let it happen.
Anything that can be software updated from the internet obviously can be overridden. But if you have a local sort of off switch where you perhaps say a keyword or something, and then that puts the robot into a safe state, some kind of localized safe state ability, an off switch, where you don't have to get too close to the robot. I don't know. So if we've got millions of these things going all over the place,
you're not selling it. Just like that.
No, I know.
So that means it got to be like another company or a multi-billionaire that invests money to create his own robot with his own rules. And then, they can make it evil because it's his own thing, his own AI. It's going to be interesting. And then on top of that, we're going to get to see who is the one doing it because he's the one investing the billions. Just like currently we got drones all over the place. And we're trying to figure out who's building those drones that are scaring the hell out of people in different states. So finding the enemy, hopefully it'll be easier.
I'm saying this is something we should be quite concerned about, because the robot can follow you anywhere. Then what if they just one day get a software update and they're not so friendly anymore? Then we've got a James Cameron movie on our hands.
What would your kind of observation be on AI and the impact on labor markets and people's jobs, and how they should feel about that as they think about this?
Well, I think we are seeing the most disruptive force in history here. Where we have for the first time, we will have for the first time something that is smarter than the smartest human. I mean, it's hard to say exactly what that moment is, but there will come a point where no job is needed. You can have a job if you want to have a job for sort of personal satisfaction, but the AI will be able to do everything. So,
but Elon is not good at setting dates. Like, he doesn't say by when, or 20, 30 years from now, or he doesn't pick a date because he's always off. And for this, like, you won't need to do a job. I think we all gonna need to do a job for a very long time, for at least another 50 years. And this whole robots are gonna be doing all the work. I think it's gonna be for the elite, for the people who can afford it. So it's gonna be an economy of scale.
So I don't know if that makes people comfortable or uncomfortable. That's why I say if you wish for a magic genie, that gives you any wishes you want, and there's no limit. You don't have those three wish limit nonsense. You just have as many wishes as you want. It's both good and bad. One of the challenges in the future will be, how do we find meaning in life? If you have a magic genie that can do everything you want,
Elon got that problem, finding meaning in life. Like, the man could do everything, make all the money in the world. And by the way, those robots that he's building, send them to Mars. Have a whole colony. He wants 1 million human beings in Mars. How about send 1 million robots to Mars and let them build a whole life over there before even sending a human being? So I don't know about these questions.
So it's hard, when there's new technology, it tends to usually follow an S curve. In this case, we're going to be on the exponential portion for a long time. You'll be able to ask for anything. It won't be, and we won't have universal basic income. We'll have universal high income. So in some sense, it'll be somewhat of a leveler.
See, people cannot even hope that we get this anytime soon. Because again, time scale. I can't believe he's talking like this, like it's about to happen. What do you think? Comment down below. Is it about to happen within the next 2-3 years? But I want to keep my assumption. It's going to be the next 10, 20 years.
One equalizer, because really, I think everyone will have access to this magic genie.
Do you have a sense yet of where you think the big applications will be from AI? Is it going to be in enabling self-driving? Is it going to be enabling robots? Is it transforming industries? I mean, it's still, I think, early in terms of where the big business impact is going to be. Do you have a sense yet?
I think the spending on AI probably runs ahead of, it does run ahead of the revenue right now. There's no question about that. The rate of improvement of AI is faster than any technology I've ever seen by far. Like for example, a Turing test used to be a thing. Now, your basic open source random LLM writing on a friggin' Raspberry Pi probably could, beat the Turing test. I think actually, the good future of AI is one of immense prosperity, where there is an age of abundance, no shortage of goods and services. Everyone can have whatever they want, except for things we artificially define to be scarce, like some special artwork. But anything that is a manufactured good or provided service will, I think, with the advent of AI plus robotics, that the cost of goods and services will trend to zero. I'm not saying it'll be actually zero, but it'll be everyone will be able to have anything they want. That's the good future. And in my view, that's probably 80% likely. So look on the bright side.
Is the 20% like, what does that look like?
I don't know, man. Frankly, I do have to go engage in some degree of deliberate suspension of disbelief with respect to AI in order to sleep well. Because I think the actual issue, the most likely issue is like, well, how do we find meaning in a world where AI can do everything we can do, but better? That is perhaps the bigger challenge. you need the sort of end effectors. You need the autonomous cars, and you need the sort of humanoid robots or general purpose robots. Once you have general purpose humanoid robots, autonomous vehicles, you can build anything. And if you've got humanoid robots that can do, where there's no real limit on the number of humanoid robots, and they can operate very intelligently, then there's no actual limit to the economy.
So like, okay, thinking about having so many robots to do everything that you ever wanted to do. Again, it's an elite problem. Like people with money that can afford these robots to do whatever they want. And then us noticing what we don't need to do, what we don't have to do, what's not required anymore. It's going to be chaotic. I could just see there's going to be a lot of haters. He forgot to take that into consideration. A lot of people are going to be looking to destroy the technology. We're going to be looking to destroy that somebody else has more robots than they do, or just hating on other people being successful with their robots and they still not being able to figure out success. Because we got that in humans today, where you see someone, where people see you succeeding, they start hating. It gets them upset. Your success is their disparagement, or is what gets them mad. So those things got to be taken into consideration.
And there's no meaningful limit to the economy.
What's the role of humanoid robotics? Do you think Tesla bot is ridiculous? Do you think it's super promising? Do you think it's interesting, full of mystery, nobody knows? What do you think about this thing?
Yeah, I think today humanoid form robotics is research. There's very few situations where you actually need a humanoid form to solve a problem. If you think about it, right, like wheels are more efficient than legs. There's joints and degrees of freedom beyond a certain point, just add a lot of complexity and cost, right? So if you're doing a humanoid robot, oftentimes it's in the pursuit of a humanoid robot, not in the pursuit of an application for the time being, especially when you have like kind of the gaps in interface and, kind of AI that we kind of talk about today. So anything Elon does, I'm interested in following. So there's an element of that where
no matter how crazy,
how crazy it is, I just like I'll pay attention. And I'm curious to see what comes out of it. So it's like you can't ever ignore it. But it's definitely far afield from their kind of core business.
To me, the compelling aspect of the humanoid form and a lot of kind of robots, Cosmo, for example, is the human robot interaction part. Elon Musk.
Okay, human robot interaction. I think also building robots as friends. One of the big problems that men have, I guess, I don't think women, but men in general, is just having a companion or somebody that understands what they're doing or what struggles they're going through. And that's it. Like, personally, I hate pursuing friends. Like, you either my friends from when we were younger or you're not. Like, every adult slowly but surely understands that the goal of making friends is over. You got what you got, because everybody else, they just want to take from you. They just want to take money. They just want to hurt you. Nobody's really your friend after a certain age. They're just people that you know or acquaintances. So if you think about having a robot, like personally, I'm battling PPMS, so that makes me disabled. Having a robot, that's it, man. It takes care of so much of my problems, like physical problem, moving from point A to point B. Friends are all gone because once you're disabled, nobody really wants to hang with you or stand next to you. So I hate pushing anybody to hang out with me. No, I never do. Right? Let people live. But if you had a robot, there you go. We're going to the store. All right, let's go cooking. Moving my hands is not the easiest thing, or walking. He could walk with me, push my wheelchair, things of that nature. Man, so on that point of view, it's going to be so helpful.
Musk's perspective, the Tesla bot has nothing to do with the human. It's a form that's effective for the factory because the factory is designed for humans. But to me, the reason you might want to argue for the humanoid form is because, at a party, it's a nice way to fit into the party. The humanoid form has a compelling notion to it in the same way that Cosmo is compelling. Mm-hmm. I would argue, if we were arguing about this, that it's cheaper to build a Cosmo like that form. But if you wanted to make an argument, which I have with Jim Keller about, you could actually make a humanoid robot for pretty cheap. And then the question is, all right, if you are using an application where it can be flawed, it can have a personality and be flawed in the same way that Cosmo is, then maybe it's interesting for integration into human society.
Mhm.
That's to me is an interesting application.
I don't think there's going to be a push to sell. Or maybe, okay, if you're a big company and you want to sell this robot, so you want to make people feel that it's acceptable in society, so therefore you should purchase it. And I think it looks creepy to see a robot looking and acting like a human being. Now you got to go around town trying to figure out if it's a person or a robot. Or what are we doing here? Who are we working with? So I don't know.
Of a humanoid form, because humans are drawn, like I mentioned to you, legged robots. We're drawn to legs and limbs and body language and all that kind of stuff. And even a face, even if you don't have the facial features, which you might not want to have for to reduce the creepiness factor, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that to me, the humanoid form is compelling. But in terms of that being the right form for the factory environment, I'm not so sure.
I think with Tesla and the real-time video coming from the several million cars, ultimately tens of millions of cars, with Optimus, there might be hundreds of millions of Optimus robots, maybe billions, learning a tremendous amount from the real world. That's the biggest source of data. I think ultimately is sort of Optimus. Probably Optimus is going to be the biggest source of data
because
reality scales. Reality scales to the scale of reality. It's actually humbling to see how little data humans have actually been able to accumulate.
Something else that Elon Musk can connect is Neuralink with the Optimus robot, where you don't even have to talk with the robot. You could just think what you want the robot to do. You know what I mean? So that combination of Neuralink, like personally, I want to get Neuralink. If you don't know, Neuralink is a chip that they put in you and then allows you to communicate with computers and also with body parts that may not be functioning, like in your own personal body. Like for me, I got MS. So my brain is not communicating with my legs. So getting a Neuralink chip, definitely sign me up for that. A lot of people are very scared of the idea and wouldn't dare get a Neuralink, but I completely understand. You really got to be disabled to see the benefits or to really see that I could use that. So hooking up Neuralink with your Tesla car and with your robot, that's a triple threat right there. Definitely sign me up for that.
So really, if you say how many trillions of usable tokens have humans generated where on a non-duplicative, like discounting spam and repetitive stuff, it's not a huge number. You run out pretty quickly.
And Optimus can go. So Tesla cars unfortunately have to stay on the road. Optimus robot can go anywhere and go off-road.
I mean, like the Optimus robot can like pick up the cup and see, did it pick up the cup in the right way? Did it, say pour water in the cup, did the water go in the cup or not go in the cup? Did it spill water or not?
Yeah.
Simple stuff like that. I mean, but it can do that at scale times a billion, generate useful data from reality. So cause and effect stuff.
What do you think it takes to get to mass production of humanoid robots like that?
It's the same as cars, really.
Exactly. Elon Musk knows how to do mass productions. Matter of fact, he built in everything he creates is with the idea of mass producing. So he knows the work he got to put into the factory.
I mean, global capacity for vehicles is about 100 million a year. It could be higher. It's just that the demand is on the order of 100 million a year. And then there's roughly 2 billion vehicles that are in use in some way. So, which makes sense. Like the life of a vehicle is about 20 years. So at steady state, you can have 100 million vehicles produced a year with a 2 billion vehicle fleet, roughly. Now for humanoid robots, the utility is much greater. So my guess is humanoid robots are more like at a billion plus per year.
But, until you came along and started building Optimus, it was thought to be an extremely difficult problem. I mean, it is extremely difficult.
Yes.
Like right now, in my opinion, Elon Musk is trying to build the machine that builds the machine. So you hear him talk a lot about building, how to build a specific part of the robot, perfecting that, and getting rid of the parts that don't need to be used, right? So it's sort of slimming it down to like, this is all we need to do to get the robot done. Finally have a factory that's producing 1 billion a year, and that's the trick.
Walk in the park. I mean, Optimus currently struggles to have to walk in the park. I mean, it can walk in a park, but parking lot too. It will be able to walk over a wide range of terrain.
These things would be able to operate our machines, potentially even drive cars.
All right, my internet sucks. Here I am doing my first live stream on January 1st, 2025. And I got to figure out, my son is probably on the internet. Maybe too many stuff on the internet. Let me just finish this video and then we'll call it quits.
Basically, the world is designed for humans. That's the form factor you want to invest into and make work over time. I think there's another school of thought, which is, okay, pick a problem and design a robot to it. But actually designing a robot and getting a whole data engine and everything behind it to work is actually an incredibly hard problem. So it makes sense to go after general interfaces that, okay, they are not perfect for any one given task, but they actually have the generality of just with a prompt with English able to do something across. And so I think it makes a lot of sense to go after a general interface in the physical world. And I think it's a very difficult project. I think it's going to take time. But I see no other company that can execute on that vision. I think it's going to be amazing. Basically physical labor. Like if you think transportation is a large market, try physical labor. It's like insane. If you were to go with the goal of like, okay, let's build 1 million human robots, and you're not Tesla, that's a lot to ask. If you're Tesla, it's actually like, it's not that crazy.
I think the ratio of humanoid robots to humans will probably be at least 2 to 1, something like that. 1 to 1 for sure. So which means like somewhere on the order of 10 billion humanoid robots. I think the build rate will be probably something ultimately like 1 billion a year.
Wait, so every person has 2 robots? Life is going to be smooth.
Humanoid robots, like actually. And if Tesla just has a 10% share of that, and it might be a lot more than 10%, and there's, we make like 100 million Optimus units a year, I think we could make one for a cost of maybe at really high scale of about $10,000. It's more, it's less expensive than a car. And I think if you sell it for $20,000 or something, this is at large scale volume, Tesla would basically make about $1 trillion of profit a year from that.
Your prediction was that AI was increasing at a rate as fast as 100 times per year, and that by 2029 or 2030, we might see AI as capable as 8 billion humans. Are you still seeing that pace?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's a difficult thing to quantify exactly, but I certainly feel comfortable saying that it's getting 10 times better per year, which is, 4 years from now, that would mean 10,000 times better, maybe 100,000. I think it will be able to do anything that any human can do, possibly within the next year or two. How much longer than that does it take to be able to do what all humans can do combined? I think not long. So it like 2029-ish, 28, something like that. Yeah, I mean, one could say it's most likely going to be great, and there's some chance, which could be 10 to 20%, that it goes bad. The chance is not zero that it goes bad, but overall, one could say that the cup is 80% full. Is one positive way to look at it, maybe 90%.
speaking of robots, so everything we've developed for our cars, the batteries, power electronics, the advanced motors, gearboxes, the software, the AI inference computer, it all actually applies to a humanoid robot. So the same techniques. It's just a robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with the Optimus. And as you can see, we started with someone in a robot suit, sort of down, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2D2 C3PO. And I think at scale, this would cost something like, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000. Probably less than a car is my prediction long term. Now, take us a minute to get to the long term, but fundamentally at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It can do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, baby kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of.
How about teach people how to make money? Even though money it's going to kind of lose its value, right? If everything is done for you. I don't know, man. Help develop a meaningful life.
It will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind.
Well, there you got it. Elon Musk making his prediction about the product that he's putting together. He did not talk about Neuralink, which is the chip that he's going to put in the head right there, which is a conversation about the Optimus robot and his Tesla cars. But the man is doing so much that in the end, all of those companies are just going to combine. So let's see how prices go down. I'm thinking I got to save some money because I got to get one of those robots. So that's going to be one of the things that everybody's going to do. Save money to get one of those. And hopefully they'll have like a lease option where you could just rent out a robot or finance it. All of that is going to be available, hopefully. And I'm just trying to figure out where to put my money, or let me save my money now. January 1st, 2025. We made it. This is my first stream. Already had a bunch of chaos where this stupid thing was not streaming because of the internet. And that's another thing Elon Musk is working with, Starlink, where he wants to provide everybody with internet. So look at that. Look at what Elon Musk is trying to do for everybody. Trying to provide internet for everybody with Starlink. Cars that drive themselves. And then I have a Tesla FSD. So I got that already. Trying to provide robots that will do all the work, the manual work for us. Create rockets so we could escape Earth and go to another planet. And the idea of going to another planet sounds so crazy that people just shrug it off and don't even listen to it. But that's something that Elon Musk is working with. He's not doing anything with water. There you go. Like no submarines or anything that has to do with underwater. I hear none of that. The only thing that I hear about is those ships that catch the rockets when they come in. But there's no need for people to go to the oceans. So rockets to go to Mars. What other inventions? Neuralink, so like that, people who are disabled. I'm battling disability, so people like me could speak with the rest of their body and with computers, even with their vision, because the next thing on Neuralink is he's going to allow blind people to see, or the chip is going to allow blind people to see. That's crazy. Can't wait for that to come around. So I'm going to try to create at least a video every day.
I thought for those who hadn't had an opportunity.
Let me pause it a bit. So prediction for 2025, those predictions that I just heard from Elon or you just heard from Elon Musk, I predict it's going to be 10 to 20 years, you know, even though he makes it sound like it's about to happen, like it's going to be this year. With now that he's running Doge and he got the government, or he's dealing with Trump and the government, I don't think there's such a thing as Elon Musk having too much on his hands or having too much work to do. The man got nothing but time. He already has it calculated how he breaks up his time and gets everything done, or gets the right people to do the right thing or to get everything done. Today is Wednesday. I gotta go to Walmart, but I can't. I'm in the middle of about to get divorced. Why? Because when you're disabled, nobody wants to hang with you. Not even your wife. So she's in the middle of breaking up, taking the car and keep it moving. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stay positive and wish her the best. All right. Good luck with that. Good luck with the car. I'm going to try to figure my life out. But on the positive note, no negativity, right? If I keep negativity in my head, I'm not going to be able to sleep. If I can't sleep, I can't walk. Every day when I get up, I'm like, wow, I can still walk. This is amazing. So let's celebrate. All right. Comment down below. Please give this video a like, because creating these videos gives me hope, and it gives me hope to plan. You know, the worst thing that a person can do is nothing. You know what it is to be bedridden, just staring into space? So I don't know. I got friends that play video games, and that's it. The emotion they get from the video game is all that they get. They sit down for hours without moving, and that takes up their time. You know, God bless people who do that. But for me, coming here and making videos, that should keep me motivated to move on in life. I'm going to try to figure out how I can stream on to Kick. What else is there? Other streaming platform. So maybe I could expand. Right now on YouTube, I got $98.9 where they send you money every time you make $100. So I'm about to make $100. It took 6 months to get those $98. If I could get those $2 and $1.96 or $1.91, I'm going to be celebrating that I'm getting $100 at the end of the month. I need every dollar. I am so broke. Scares the head out of me. Ever since I bought this house, the mortgage is $2,100 a month. $2,150 a month in mortgage. You know, going broke. The car payment is financed at $750 a month. So now we're talking almost $3,000 right there. Woo. And then I got to eat. I did groceries today. I learned how to do groceries online in terms of they deliver to your house. Supposed to get here by 7. I should have paid the extra $5 to get it right away. So Walmart, I got 30-day free delivery. Fine. Next time I order anything, I'll pay the extra $5 to get it delivered in an hour or two. Although I really don't need it. Who eats that much? All right. Practicing talking into the camera. Just being honest, being myself. Hopefully you relate to this. And if you do, give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to try to stream later on today. It's 4:30. I'll come on back. I don't want to give a time, but I'll be back later today. So please join me. I need a haircut. I still got to get rid of that tree because it's January 1st. Let's clean up. So I'll say this. Money talks, bullshit runs a marathon. So see ya. I wouldn't want to be ya. I said that's so bad and boring. Let's talk a little bit more hype on my voice. See ya. I wouldn't want to be ya. No, see ya. See ya. And I wouldn't want to. I repeated the same thing like 10 times. Thanks for listening. See you in the next video.